Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new series in RimWorld Beta 19. We are of course playing with a couple different mods, as you can tell from the title. We are playing with, I think, over 75 different mods, but don't get turned off by that number. They're mostly just tweaks and quality of life mods that won't really change the game, but it will help see things more clearly and just add a little bit of flavor. Regardless, we are playing with the major mod, which is Lord of the Rims. Lord of the Rims has 3 or 4 separate mods. Most of them are just races. We have the hobbits, the dwarves, and the elves. The elves, of course, are what we're playing in this series. And then the Lord of the Rims, the Third Age, basically restricts the entire RimWorld to a pre-modern society. So there are no guns, there's no power, and we can't get them. So to complement this mod, I do have medieval times, so we actually can build some interesting things that help us add, like I said, a little bit more flavor to the game. And I will go ahead and showcase a couple different more mods in here, but those are the major ones that you need to worry about. And for those of you that don't want to see the setup, this episode might not be for you. This will be called episode 0, I think, and it'll just be the setup. So I'll showcase a couple different mods, I will pick our starting location, and then pick our starting colonists. That's it. Nothing else this episode, so I just want to warn you guys that that will be it for this episode. There won't be any real gameplay. I'm going to save that for episode 1. So, for those of you that want to skip, go right ahead to episode 1, and we'll see you there. For those of you that want to stay, let's talk a little bit more about the mods. I'm not going over every single one, because there are, like I said, a bunch. I will have a link in the description that takes you to a mod list, so you can see them all there, but I'm not going to go over every single one. I have a lot. So first up, like I said, we do have the Lord of the Rims mods. So the Third Age restricts us to a pre-modern world. The hobbits, the elves, and the dwarves. The elves, of course, are what we're going to be playing as in this series. The elves are a little overpowered, so I'm going to have to change the scenario a little bit, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Medieval Times, of course, like I said, adds a bunch of different buildings and productions and items and stuff like that for Medieval Times. Adds a little bit more flavor considering we're restricted so much, technology-wise. Giddy Up. Giddy Up is actually a pretty fun mod where you can actually ride animals into combat, caravanning, and of course, in and around the colony, so you can do things faster. The caravanning part is much, much better, because if you're riding an animal, you use the animal's running speed, which usually it's much faster. So you'll actually be caravanning a lot faster, which is actually really, really nice. What else? We have run and gun, which is pretty simple. I mean, you shoot while you're running. We do get a penalty for shooting while running, and so does the enemy, but considering we're both doing it, it's going to be chaos, it's going to be fun, and it's a cool mod. RimQuest allows you to request quests from traders. Hospitality, a very, very important one. It allows you to recruit guests and provide basically a hospitality service to them. You know, give them a room, a recreation room, as you can see in this little image here, a dining hall, stuff like that. Mad Skills. Mad Skills is very, very important. I absolutely hate the way the vanilla game treats skill, in that it degrades over time. If you're not actively doing your skill, it degrades, and I don't like that. I mean, maybe it should a little bit, but I would rather not play with that, to be honest. So Mad Skills basically allows you to just continue learning and not lose it. So that's that. And then, of course, we have Faction Control, which may or may not get tweaked by me in a second. I have to see how this works, because there was a glitch going on recently where it would just add one faction over and over and over again. So if, of course, I am playing with this, I will talk about this more. If not, then it'll be gone. But I'll let you know later on. Extended storage, a lot of tweaks, replacing things, more traits. We have Death Rattle, allows you to not necessarily die if your organs get shot out. It allows you to kind of hopefully recover and then maybe get them replaced in time. So it's a very, very interesting mod. Just a lot of tweaks. Green World replaces bland soil with greener textures. Yeah, so quite a lot of things, but I'm done talking about this. Again, you can take a look at the description below. There'll be a link. You can see the entire list in there. Alright, now we can finally start working on our colony. So like I said, we are playing with the elves, and we will be playing a new territory scenario, but just tweaked a little bit. So we're going to start with 3 elves instead of 4. We're going to reduce some of this stuff in here. In fact, I already have it created down here. So 3 people chosen from 6. We have a lot of different researches already done, because the elves do, of course, know a lot. We start with less silver. Limbus is like their bread meals. I'll explain that when we get into game. They're basically like elven bread meals. Herbal medicine, that's fine. 3 Lorien deer. Lorien deer are the deer that they ride in Lord of the Rings. We have elf armor, 3 bows, 250 steel, which is less, and 350 Malorn wood, which is the elven wood, basically. And this is going to be our scenario. So we're going to start with 3 people. We'll choose them in a little bit. We will be playing with Cassandra. I was thinking about doing Randy, but I want it to scale with difficulty. You know, because if we do Randy, yeah, we could have some pretty devastating events early on, but it's not as consistent. I think I like the scalable events. You know, it's going to get really crazy at the end, but kind of slow to start. You know what I'm saying. All right, we're going to do Cassandra on rough and reload anytime, just because this is a series, and if something goes wrong, I don't want to be stuck in Iron Man mode. We'll hit next. The seed will be Middle Earth. Kind of fitting, right? All right, so global coverage 100%. Overall, that's fine. Generate. One thing I do want to mention while I have time is that this mod isn't yet completed. The Lord of the Rings mod is actually going to have more races. It's going to have the orcs, the wizards, and hopefully the humans, I would imagine, and a couple different more items and stuff like that. So while we don't have the complete mod pack yet, I do plan on revisiting this in the future once it's all, you know, said and done. But right now, I really like the elves, and I want to play them, you know? It'll be a nice way to get into RimWorld and actually start something that I finish. So I'm looking forward to this series a lot. And with that, we are in our world. Although very barren in some locations. This actually looks like Mordor down here. Well, not Mordor. It looks like Middle Earth. Mordor would be like over here somewhere. This would be like Gondor, the Elven kingdoms. I guess this would be Rivendell, the one Elven woods here. I'm really geeking out over this location. I mean, it doesn't look exactly perfect, but considering the seed is Middle Earth, this is actually pretty cool. Either way, sorry, we are in our world, and faction control basically does this. So normally in a vanilla game, you'd have these factions spread out randomly across the entire planet, and that's not realistic to me at all. So faction control basically groups them up into a larger cluster. They can still overlap, right? So down here we can see that there are Kingdom Under the Mountain, which is the Dwarven, one of the Dwarven factions. It's kind of, they're in each other's territories, right? But they're not like so randomly spread out that you wouldn't say that's an empire. You know what I mean? So I like this much, much better, and we should get some interesting locations going on here. This would be the Shire. We have the Purple Squirrel Rokai, the Crowned Coyote. What else do we have? The Dwarven Hill Clans, the High Council of the Elves. Oh, we might want to stay over here then. I mean, I would like to settle in Middle Earth, in quotation marks, but I don't know. Right, so this would be the Coastal Haven of the Elves. We have the Despoilers Desert, which is a hostile faction. Dwarven Hill Clans, like I said, Kingdom Under the Mountain. What is this? The Kamba of the Tar Pit. Dwarven Bandits, okay. And this would be the Woodland Domain of the Elves. Very nice. All right, so what I'm thinking, I mean, we could go down here. Is there anything decent? I do want to settle on one of these yellow dots. These yellow dots are the Elven Woods. So this biome is actually very, very beautiful. It has golden leaves during the fall months, fall and spring, I think, and it looks like a very, very nice map. Plus, you get a unique wood, and the wood basically is, I think, a little bit more beautiful than regular wood. It just looks much nicer, I think, and it matches what we're playing, you know, the elves. So anyway, right, so let's go to terrain. Dunite, granite, claystone, and limestone. So I am playing with a mod that adds a couple more stones, but I don't like the claystone or the limestone. Those are very brittle types of stone. 50 out of 60 days of growth, that's okay. But, I don't know, we'll keep this one in our minds, because it does have granite. Granite is a very sturdy rock that we can use for defensive walls. Okay, and it's not really near anybody to trade with either, so it's not really a great location. What about up here somewhere? If we settled... I'm trying to look for a very interesting location, because if it cuts through a road, that'd be very, very nice. But I don't see any of these on a road. I'm going to go ahead and take a look around to see if I can find something, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I think I found a location. We are in a mountainous tile. It has quartzite, dunite, gabbro, limestone, and granite. And while I don't like limestone, quartzite is like the replacement for marble. It's a very beautiful rock. And granite is obviously what I wanted. It's a very sturdy, very defensible rock. So that's all set. It's only 30 out of 60 days of growth, but that's okay. We are in a very, very good spot to trade and caravan. So if you take a look here, it takes us only about half a day to get here. About half a day again to get over to this little faction. About 1.5 there. 3. 2.6. So actually, we could, even the farthest ones away, it only takes us about 5.6 days to get here. And that's actually still much faster when we're using animals. There are some caves, actually, it looks like, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's jump in here. We'll do a large, medium map. I don't think I want to go full... Well, just do it. Why not? Have some fun. Next. So... You got a couple different people to choose from. Again, we're choosing 3 out of 6. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I jump in here and take a look. Every one of the Lord of the Rings races gets a racial bonus. And this affects quite a lot of their attributes and their health. Elves in Lord of the Rings are basically immortal. They live forever. And the only thing that kills them is, well, if they're killed by something else. So, to compensate for that, these elves can live as long as they want to, and they don't get any age-based illnesses, which is pretty cool. Also, their blood filtration is times 200%. So if they get an infection or a disease, we can cure this pretty quickly, and they have no problem with any of those. They're a race that technically can't be killed by anything other than getting stabbed or shot or something like that. So it's very, very overpowered, which is why I limited myself with the scenario. Sight times 200%, so their manipulation is fantastic. They can do things faster. They can shoot more accurately. Metabolism times 140%. I'm not sure what that affects, but I can find out in game. And their movement is also times 120%. So they're very fast at what they do with their different skills. So it's going to be a very overpowered game, but I know that going into it, which is why I've compensated a little bit. I'm going to choose different people here for the colony, and I will be right back. Alright, so I have chosen my 3 different colonists. We have Thawwiel up here, who is great at shooting, a great medic, so that's why I chose her. Her overall stats aren't really that great, but she's a fantastic medic. Not that it's really going to matter. She's super immune as well. So her immunity gain speed, she's going to be perfect. She will be our undying, ever-loving medic, I guess. She's too smart, so her global learning factor is plus 75%. And that also means that her mental break threshold is also plus 12%. But that's all right. That should be fine. She's beautiful as well, so she's going to be fantastic. She will be a great shot, a great medic, and just super immune. Then we have Sindirion down here, who has overall better skills, but is not really great in anything besides social. His social skill is actually really good because of the fact that he's also a master trader. This trade actually gives him a trade price improvement of 40%, so things will be much, much cheaper. Or, likewise, we can sell things for greater profit. He's going to be our social guy. And then we have Glavratus down here, who's just overall pretty good. Not great in medical or social, but we have those two traits pretty much taken care of with these two. She's a beautiful psychopath who is bloodlust. Luckily, that doesn't mean anything, right? Glavratus gets a rush from hurting people. Oh, never mind. No, she's going to be interesting. Yeah. She's a psychopath as well, but psychopaths basically mean that she can't really do anything from the social skill, and that she doesn't care if things happen to people around her. So if someone, like a colonist, dies, I don't think that's going to affect her. I could be wrong. She doesn't mind if others are butchered, left unburied, imprisoned, or sold to slavery unless it affects her. Oh, okay. But either way, she's an overall good rounded, skilled colonist. So, these are our 3, Thawwiel, Sindirion, and Glavratus. I'm excited to jump into game, so let's jump in. And here we are in our colony, or our future colony. We still have to, oh boy. We still have some things to take care of, mostly defenses. This is a very, very nice location over here, this lake. We're definitely going to try to find a way to work this into our colony. I like that a lot. Although, alright, I'm not going to talk about where we're going to settle because I want to do that in the next episode. But I like this map a lot. I like the interweaving mountain range. And, oh, this is cool. This is very cool. So either way, thank you all for watching this setup episode. If you enjoyed, then please continue watching to episode 1, where we will actually start working on our colony. So thank you all for watching, and definitely stay tuned for more.